Hi, Freddy back here on the Scratch desktop with this SLA Industries, a 1993 game by Nightfall Games. Is it Nightfall Games? Let's just check. Yes, Nightfall Games. Nightfall Games was set up by three guys from Paisley, I believe, in Glasgow, Scotland. So this is perhaps the most local role-playing game I own. Glasgow is about 25 miles in that direction, and Paisley is about 20 miles in that direction. It's actually the town I went to university in. People say lots of the atmosphere in SLA Industries comes from Paisley. While I can get some of that, I don't think Paisley is cool enough. I'm sorry, Paisleyites, but my experiences in the town were not good. Anyway, Nightfall Games was set up when they published this game, was bought out by Wizard of the Coast, became Wizard of the Coast UK or Scotland, and SLA Industries almost instantly went back out of publication after publishing only one source book. This one, Karma, but we'll come back to that. The guys eventually got the rights to their game back off Wizards, and it went back into publication with Hog's Head. Got a few more source books out, and then Hog's Head got sold off, and it went back out of publication. Again, they brought it back through yet another publisher, and since then, releases have trickled out. Now, SLA Industries is a game set in a cyberpunk-style universe. The galaxy is run by a massive corporation, SLA Industries of the title, run by a Mr. Slayer. Now, the players take on operatives for SLA Industries, basically bounty hunters, killers for hire, that kind of thing, to do missions. They can make more money off their missions by basically selling their activities to the media. And because of that, killing bad guys with axes and swords is more spectacular than shooting them at miles away. So they will get more sponsorship for more spectacular kills type thing. The game itself, very nicely done. Beautiful artwork with a particular style. Reminds me a lot of 2000 AD. And a very cool setting. Although the galaxy is run by SLA Industries, the game itself is set on Mort, which is the headquarters of the company, which has been run down. The resources have been mined off the surface. The atmosphere is toxic. It constantly rains sort of acidic rain. There's areas where genetic experiments and things have gone wrong. The cannibal sectors, which have fallen, and they've just walled off areas of this planet-wide city and just let them go to chaos. The serial killers, like the man pictured on the cover, who go around striking. The player character species are one of the most interesting things of it. If I can find them. There they are. So you've got humans. Standard, you probably are one. The thing is, it goes into all details about them, and then it gives you what they think of other species. You've got Frothers, who are basically humans on combat drugs, and they happen to carry claymores and wear kilts. Lots of tartan. So Frothers are basically drugged up Scotsmen. Maybe I see where they're getting at from the Paisley point of view. Ebons, who are advanced humans, sort of psychers. Brain Wasters, who are death metal psychers. Ebons, who have turned evil. Stormers, who are genetically engineered combat machines. Shakhtars, who are lizard honorable warriors. Wraith Raiders, another type of alien from the galaxy. Incidentally, the galaxy in the game is called the World of Progress. Lots of PR goes on for SLA Industries. But the Wraith Raiders are fast and nimble, but physically weaker aliens. Psychic powers in the game are called the power of the Ebb, which is where the Ebon species gets their name from. They used to use playing cards to channel their powers, but they now have death suits, which are these leather bondage suits which feature so heavily in the game. Death suits can be powered up to get extra weapons and abilities as the Ebon wearer gets more and more powerful. And that's where SLA Industries is fairly unbalanced. The Ebons and the Deaths... I forgot their names already. Brain Wasters. Where, can be vastly more powerful than anybody else. The Death Suits give them abilities far higher. They eventually become neckanthropes and basically get a council which virtually control the world along with Mr. Slayer. Neckanthrope abilities and traits. All the powers that the Death Suit can give people. Including the gore cannon, which they get when they become neckanthropes. Interdermalization, gore cannon hidden under skin. Poison sting, drain blood, psychovirus, drain ebon, red rain. Now, the abilities they get are vastly beyond everybody else. There's some cool hardware you can get, but in comparison to death suits and gore cannons, this stuff is not anything. The art style, again, very 2000 AD, but also very heavy metal cover. Very horror movie. They do actually rate the movie as suggested for mature gamers. It's a fun game. I've never played it as anything other than just another cyberpunk game. I never really thought when I was playing it of it being particularly beyond Shadowrun or the like. But it's an interesting Scottish game. The idea behind SLA Industries as well was that there was an overarching plot, and that got leaked online a few years after SLA Industries went out of print for the first or second time. And what they revealed was kind of realistic, but really weird, in that the entire world takes part in the decaying brain of a drug addict in a hospital in Scotland. And that Mr. Slayer and the various his sidekicks who run the company are aspects of the the dying junkie's brain. Which, yes, is a great sort of plot development if you're writing a novel, but how do players feel about turning out just to be an aspect of somebody else's brain as they die? Is that fun? Is that character development? Not sure. Anyway, the one book they managed to release before they got bought out by Wizard of the Coast was Karma. Now, this is a second edition, or 1.1 edition, SLA Industries, the Hogshead publishing version, which, as you saw when I looked at some of the creatures, the binding isn't great. Well, that is still 1000% better than the binding that Nightfall Games used, because I pretty much have a bundle of disconnected pages. Their binding was terrible. Now, Karma's a source book made out to be a fashion magazine. So there's various articles about the background, adverts. The artwork is noticeably worse in this one. But what it did do that players of SLA really liked, though, was it introduced new creatures. So, year 900 is year 900 of SLA Industries and the world of progress. Vevfon, shape-shifting stormers. Chagrins, big, muscly, horned ones. Xenos, stormers with stealth abilities. Power loader ones, which are used for handling crates. Genetically engineered dogs. And I think people like the ability to play inhuman monsters. Lots of new weapons and things in it, of course, as well. There's one kind of monster which they particularly used. Can I find it quickly? No, I'm back onto the flow of the ebb. Rivals. No, I'm sorry, I cannot find it quickly. There's a picture of them, carrions. These are sort of undead creatures which tend to populate the cannibal sectors. For some reason, they also like carrying hockey sticks, probably sharpened. But it's totally about a world in collapse. The environment's collapsing, the city's collapsing, while the corporation continues to control and profit off everything. It's an interesting concept, one I liked, one I think is very cool to have in my collection, and I believe it's still back in print. I know they did a Kickstarter for a miniatures skirmish game a couple of years back. I have no idea how successful that was, but that's SLA Industries. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll catch you later.